Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing Rogue Mage, and I'm helping my friend that just came back to the game get 1400 on his Mage. We end up facing Odorath, playing some really scummy playstyle. He's playing this trinket where you can't see him. One of the most toxic things I've ever seen. We end up getting a lot of cooldowns here. We end up getting Turtle at 100%, and we get Pet Tech on top of Turtle. So he uses everything. He ends up one-shotting my guy, obviously. We end up getting Trinket and Pet Sack from the healer because the healer just was. They thought they already won the game. That's usually what happens. And when the teammate dies, they end up just overusing. Hunter uses Pet Sack, Turtle. As you can see, he tries to pre-Pet Sack, and it does not help him at all. Anytime you see a Hunter use Trap, like on his nameplates, as you can see, it says that he has Trap down. It means it's right under him. It means he's at Flare, and what he's expecting me to do is Shadow Step, Kidney him. And if I Shadow Step him, I'm going to hit with the Trap before I can hit him. Instead, we're going to Sap, and then we're going to Cloak into the Flare. So we're going to Sap the Priest, Cloak, and then run in Kinney. And now we're going to try. He would have lived if he didn't use Turtle for no reason, but as you can see, we ended up taking him out. And he almost survived, so he almost would have. So that's the power of a guard. Like, the difference between damage is crazy. He killed my mage 100-0 in about 2 seconds. With my full burst rotation, and he's being a hunter, I couldn't kill him in a full 7-second, 8-second stun. He almost would have survived. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, he ends up messaging me here. I have him followed on Twitch and stuff. He has me followed, so we both know. We both know each other. I hosted him the other night. But it was GG. Not much he can do about it. Well, there's obviously a lot of things he could have done about it, but I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, you know. It's hard to beat the best rogue in game, I'm not gonna lie about that one. You can't beat, a godly man like me. I completely and utterly, like usual, win every single game. Back to back, ladies and gentlemen. And there's nothing he can do about that one. So we end up getting another threshold W, and that's all there was to it. So on the next game here, basically what's going to happen is we're going to start on the Warlock here with the Smoke Bomb. We're not going to use anything major other than our Echo. We're going to instantly Trinket so he doesn't get the Cyclone. We're going to aggro Cloak, because if we don't aggressively Cloak there, all he does is click Fear and he gets me. My mage, if I was playing with my, like, a real mage, like, that has XP and stuff, he would have kicked the Fear and I would have hold Cloak. But since my guy is obviously new, I don't really expect him to do any of that stuff. So we end up getting double trinket. We end up getting mini wall. We get actually double wall. We get basically every cooldown that's possible. My guy's basically just dead, and there's not much he can do about it. He doesn't even have a piece of conquest gear other than his weapon, I think. So can't really blame him. And we're also playing really high MMR because I started at a 1950 CR from doing fewer games, and we ended up at like 1850 MMR to start out. These other games were around, I don't know what CR this game. I'd assume it was around 1800 plus, which is really toxic for a 70k mage to be in. But regardless, we end up getting wall for free here at 50%. We didn't really have to use much to get that. We ended up canceling our Shadow Dance. I don't have enough keybinds to have like a cancel aura macro for my Shadow Dance. We end up skipping it here. Obviously, my FPS is awful because my PC is 20 years old. We end up sapping him here. And yeah, this is after 3 to 4 hours of just spamming the brawl on my warrior. I finally got full 1600 gear on my warrior. I had to spam 4 hours straight because I had legit zero. I ended up blinding him. I knew he was going to trinket because since I've been playing my 2100 lock, I kind of know what's going to happen. I'm kind of like, that's why I'm trying to get every class to the 2400 plus, and I can basically counter every class I face and know exactly what they're gonna do. Because if I can become good at the class, it means I'm gonna know what's happening. As you can see, the MMR was only around 1750, so not too bad. This next game was it was really close. They had a chance to win, but we end up getting a good old fresh W. So here, what I like to do is I like to either try to sap the DH, and then I swap it to the rest of Shaman, or I just plain up, sap the Shaman. So I don't even sap because he doesn't use the eyes until he got to me, so there's no point. So we end up getting Trinket in the opener, which is really good. I wanted more though. So we could have swapped to the Shaman on here, but I didn't really expect my guy to follow with me. So I knew he was going to keep attacking, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to, tag along here. My guy is playing a little bit too aggressive. That's why I got double stun there. Not a big deal though. He ends up DBing. We end up getting darkness for free. So All we need now is to get the Shaman's Trinket. The only way to get his trinket is if we get a solid go, which means I need a cheap shot or he needs a DB sheep the Shaman off DR. So I could have sap right there, but it would have been DR. So we had to make that DR go away. So as you can see now, I'm going to Kenny. He just needs to sheep off of it, so I stun him again. He's obviously getting kicked, so not much you can do. We end up getting trinket with my kidney. That's what happens when I usually know my guy's not going to sheep or something like that. He ends up sheeping, but it was kind of bad there because our DRs are already off. So there we just need to save the DR, and then at that moment we could just, block. I end up resapping. I probably shouldn't have, so it would have reset the DR faster, but obviously I kind of knew he was toast revened. I kind of knew it was like we have one more chance. I was kind of just gonna let him die here. I was like, okay, 7 seconds, he's not gonna survive when he has 70k HP. So this is our last go that he has a chance to sheep. So cheap shot, Kinney, he ends up pre-evasioning it. It's RNG. He ends up not sheeping, so that's when I knew he was dead. I knew it was over for him. It was GG's. So I just was like, all right, bye, buddy. It's over for you. If he would have sheeped and then G-Pod, I would have actually full sent it. But then again, it was a cheap shot go, and you never want a full send on a cheap shot go. So regardless, we held, and that was really good for us because we've gotten double trinket. Now all we need to do really is we have to do this before he has trinket. Basically, we have 10 seconds. But the good news is what we're gonna do is when we know they have trinket coming out, we're gonna do a bait thing. So when I do bait goes, this is like getting cooldowns without actually using anything. Now sometimes I use my echoing just because, I have to. But as you can see, watch. So I'm gonna blind the healer or I can let's see what happens here. Let's see. So I Kenny here. So he trinkets instantly. That's what a bait go is. We didn't click anything, but he ended up trinketing, and that's when they lose. Then again, he ends up getting me out here. I could blind the DH and then just go in 7 seconds, but I decided not to because it's like I'd rather try to survive. He almost kills me. It's really close. I have to trinket. I Kenny. This is like the one chance. I don't think I get any force up procs. We'll see what's happening. So yeah, I end up not getting any force up procs. He almost survives, almost. And then we get the 1v1 a shaman, which he actually almost ends up killing me. It was really, really close. He ended up doing a lot of damage without even casting, so it was like I was kind of nervous. I was like, if this guy can connect on me, I end up getting full rooted even though I was a mile away from it. I end up smoke bombing. He's right on the edge of my smoke bomb. As you can see, I almost die. I end up not killing the totem because it would have kept me in combat for more than what I needed to. We ended up getting a re. He ends up vitaling now. If he vitaled at the start and he had the earthquake, I would have been dead. It would have been over. It would have been GG. Thankfully, I have food, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hide behind a pillar, eat, and then that's gonna be a GG. And he ends up leaving, so it's very good. Not bad, not bad. And for this game here, this was really toxic. I haven't faced a Demonology that was this toxic in a minute. These were not easy games. Especially, even though this guy's not that geared, he is definitely by far not. Because what the thing is, you can stun while in a stun. So what happens is, he can actually solo peel me off. My guy ends up DBing, which is kind of awkward because he really needs to be busting here so we can get some cooldowns. He ends up busting on wall. So at this point, I knew we weren't going to get anything. So I end up just running away, and then off DR, we're gonna kidney. I end up trying to blind him. Like I said, a lot of people will trinket when they know that, you know, I don't have trinket. So all he has to do theoretically is he can lasso me now, and then they can both pump me, or the lock can stun me again. So as you can see, he ends up pre-stunning me before I can get the stun off. He ends up lassoing me, or he ends up fearing me. They end up going my mage because he has no gear. I end up pre-cloaking. I probably didn't even need to because I was already almost full DR'd, so that cloak was really bad. If everything's full DR'd, you don't really need to. So as you can see, he feared me right before then, and then he feared me again, so it would have been triple feared, but I needed to get cooldowns there, so at this point, we're going to wait for Vital, and then we're going to open. So we're just waiting at this point for Vital to go out, and this is basically your last chance to win. I do have Shadowy Duel, but I don't have Trinket, so if I mess this up and I don't get Force of Procs and he ends up stunning me and then peeling me off, I lose the game. So let's say, as soon as I come out of the Shadowy Duel, he's his pet stun for 3 seconds, and then he fears off that, and the Shaman just heals himself. It's over. So I knew I needed Trinket to be at least close up, so I'm just waiting for Trinket. I'm waiting for Vital, Trinket. They're not going for the eyeball, which is insanely good because it doesn't force my hand to go. Now, if it had, then it would have been a difference. Like, as you can see, they're forcing my hand to go right here. So I end up trying to run away instead of opening because I need Trinket just in case he gets that stun off. Because if he ends up getting the stun off my Shadowy Duel and I don't have enough damage to kill him, it's over. I can't kill him. So I end up trying to sat the pet with Smoke Bomb here, which actually happens. He was spamming a stun at the same time. So he actually would have been able to throw his axe in my face before I got the sap. Instead, I Smoke Bomb so he couldn't hit me in the forehead. His pet is following me in stealth, even though he doesn't have the eyeball, because sometimes it bugs after you get the eyes. We end up, like I said, we end up not getting any damage, and we almost survives. Thankfully, we have Trinket for that one situation that I was talking about, and before he can get the stun off, we end up taking him out. Now, this is a really sketchy one. Theoretically, Demonology should never lose this ever in any situation. It's not only is Demonology one of the worst counters for sub rogue, it's probably worse than like like an arcane frost mage. It's just really bad, and especially if they're like this guy didn't play that good overall, but I almost lost. It was really close. I ended up almost dying one of these times, but I ended up skipping it because I'm not gonna sit here and wait. He ends up leaving, thankfully, because he would have beat us. It would have been 100% their win. There's no way I would have had to damp him so hard, and it would have been really not fun. But I guess he ended up giving up. He didn't want it. He didn't want the smoke because I was. It was like his 1400 was then like really close. I think I'd rather wait and win, but here was a really crazy win actually. This is a win that this is the one way you can beat an HPL, and if you do it right, then you can beat him. Now here in this situation, we kind of mess up a lot, so I wanted to wait for the mage to open. So I wanted my guy just to go out and attack. He ends up missing DB. That was pretty awkward. He ends up busting too, so this was even more awkward. So he ends up busting, which it puts a runic. I end up sapping exactly like I needed to. So we end up sapping the mage. Now he can't peel us off. I end up doing a restun. My guy has just enough damage for his bust to get, you know, get bubble, which is exactly the cooldown I need. So off DR, you can wait about 5-6 seconds, but then you have to go. So I try to wait for my symbols at least 2 second, 3 second beforehand. So we end up, see, as you can see, it's almost DR. I'm going to end up vanishing so the mage can't do shit to me. Because I know he's going to run here, which is not good for us. So if he runs, it's bad. So we have to kill him now, and he does have a Bop coming up on the horizon. It is right there. He could click it right now. Thankfully, he doesn't, and we end up taking him out. It might have been an extra 3 seconds. Sometimes it's weird with the bop. I think he could have done it, and he would have lived, because my mage was in, Africa, so it wouldn't have mattered. You know what I mean? I said it wouldn't have mattered. Alright. And we end up taking this mage out, even though it was really close still. I end up kicking the resheep, which is nice. I end up getting a 4-step rock and doing unhealable dam. And we end up indeed taking him out. He almost ends up doing a lot of dam, but we take him out. GG's, boys.